The UDU, Upland Development United, installed their neighborhood nodes throughout the entirety of Upland. Their reach was unmatched.
Alrighty, hello again, and we're here with interview number 3 for the Who is UDU series. Erohwaru, welcome aboard.
Hey, thank you. Thanks.
How are we doing this evening, or daytime there, is it?
Yeah, it's like 4:43 in the morning right now. So yeah, I'm doing good.
Very good, and that leads us straight into it. Who are you? Where are you from? What do you do? What are you interested in?
Yeah. Well, my username's Erohwaru. I know some people have asked how to pronounce that. That's how I pronounce it. I'm from Sacramento, California, so I'm kind of close to San Francisco and Oakland, like about an hour and a half away. I work in ER radiology at a local hospital, a trauma center. I don't know, interests. I mean, I'm on this game all the time, so it's not time for much else,
Yeah.
But I like the UFC. I was kind of raised in martial arts, and I have a buddy of mine. He trains a couple UFC fighters, and so outside of this game and work, pretty much that, and then whatever my kids are into. That's
Nice.
pretty much it. Yeah.
Now, I've been looking forward to talking to you because you come to us with kind of a unique twist, which we'll get into later.
Okay.
I don't know if you can pick up on that straight away or not, if you remember, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
How long have you been playing Upland?
Yeah, I've been playing for just over 3 months.
Okay, so you're relatively new too.
It was like the end of January, I think, is when I got in.
And you're another one. Like I just spoke to Nubex as well, and like he only got talking with me in February, but it seems like I've known him for like a year or something, because we're always, with everything that's happened so quickly recently. It definitely seems like it's much longer than that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I looked into that, and I was looking at our message feed, and I'm like, that's all? That's when we started talking? That's weird, man.
Yeah, I was exactly the same. So how did you find Upland?
So, I was actually searching for games that I could play where I could earn crypto, because I'm like, they got to have something like that out at this point, And I was watching a YouTube video. I don't remember the guy's name, but he was just kind of like briefly going over a bunch of different projects. And, I saw just a little bit about Upland, and then that caught my eye. I was like, oh, what's this? So I right away went over to the website, signed up, and just start throwing money at the game. Just threw a couple bucks in there, and I've been on ever since.
So you come from a crypto background more so than a gaming, or a bit of both? Or?
Yeah. I mean, I like playing games. I don't game as much as I used to. So really my focus was crypto, for this. So.
Alrighty. If you're not playing Upland, is there any other game that you'd pick up, or what's your go-to?
I mean, I play like Clash Royale on my phone, I've been banned from console games from my kids. So they don't let me play those anymore, because I used to rage too much. So
that rings true. I was just playing with my second son. We were just playing Mario Kart, and he was cracking it because I kept beating him. So he's learned all about RNG and this sort of thing. It was quite funny though, because I kept telling him, you got to know the racing lines, mate. So he had a quick little lesson on racing lines, and next minute he was kicking my butt, and I was ready to rage quit. So
there you go. Yeah.
Pretty similar. So you said you got into the game from the web. Are you mostly web based more so than mobile? Or?
Well, what's crazy is I started out web based, and then but now I'm on the phone a lot. I don't know. I feel like some of the functionality is better on the phone. On the web browser, you can see more of the map, you know, so I tend to do both now. You know, it's pretty mixed.
Yeah, I'm pretty much 100% mobile unless I have to do some properties, anything to do with property searching or anything like that. I'll turn the laptop on because at least it's still a pain. I mean, I have to. I've got like a touchscreen laptop, and I have to flick through almost the entire property list, and then I can search. But you still have to flick through it before you can find it. But it's a lot better than the tiny little mobile screen trying to find one property.
Oh yeah.
Up squared land can't come fast enough.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So you said you put some money in almost straight away. Why? Well, what grabbed your attention that quick?
Well, you know, I started out with the free money, and I guess probably most new players that don't really research the game too much before they get in. I just bought the first couple properties around me. I'm like, oh, okay, buy this, buy that. And then I was stuck. I'm like, what do I do now?
Now
you
what?
know,
Yeah.
I'm looking at the dividends, and I'm like, man, it's going to be forever before I can get more properties. So,
Yep.
so I'm like, I'll throw $10 in here, you know, and then that turned into 50 and then a couple hundred. So, yeah.
And where did you start off? Do you remember your first property?
Yeah. It was, so it was in Fresno, and I don't have the exact address on me, but it was on North Doolittle. I actually went back and bought that property recently, just because I'm at a point now where it's like, okay, you got to have it. You got to have that first property back, you know? So
yeah, I'm so jealous of everyone that's been able to do that. Mine, I'm pretty certain is in a dead account, so it's gone. So anyway,
well, this guy, you know, I looked him up because I put an offer in on it because he had it on the market, but I looked up his activity and he hasn't been on for a while, and so I'm like, I'm just gonna buy this thing real quick before I can't. So yeah, he's probably hasn't been on, you know, for a bit.
Oh, so it was up for sale. That's lucky.
I got lucky. Yeah.
And it wasn't some stupid, you know, 150,000 UPEX price or anything.
15,000. You know, I put in an offer for 8. You know, just hoping he was going to be on, but and be happy to get something. But I figured, 15's not that bad. So
no, it's definitely worth it to get that first one back.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll come up with something special to do with that in the future, or who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how this game evolves. You know, but yeah, probably.
Yeah, I was hoping to put because there was well, when you turned executive, you're supposed to get a statue or something, a 3D statue. I applied for mine within seconds after that was announced, and then I think that was 5-6 months ago, and it's just been crickets. So never mind.
Yeah, I guess that's out of the picture now or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those.
Well, the volume of players now too. It's got to be hard to keep up with.
Well, how long do you think it's going to be before the custom block explorers is a no-go?
Oh yeah, they're gonna have to end that soon. Well, you know what? With the businesses coming up, you might as well end it and let the businesses take over. You know.
Ah, yeah, good point. That'll be something they pick up. Yep.
Yeah.
And they're going to be busy because I've got a few in mind.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
And your custom block explorer is pretty iconic. I remember that show when I was a kid. What's the story behind that?
Well, okay, so my name is Alfred. You know, so growing up, you know, with your siblings and your friends, they always give you the short name. So it was Alf before the show even came out. You know, it was funny because I remember I was like 8 years old or something. And I go to the grocery store to get a birthday cake, and you know, we put "Happy Birthday, Alf," and the lady's like, "Oh, were you named after the show?" And I'm like, 8 years old. How would I be named after? Yeah, but yeah, that's so yeah, you know, I always have a hard time thinking about like, oh man, what am I gonna do? But you know, I started seeing other people's characters. I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe I'll do Alf. You know, I was worried about the whole, you know, copyright thing, but I guess that, you know,
there's enough of a twist on it. You know. Yeah. I thought it might have been you hated cats or something.
I can't say that. My son will kill me if I say that.
Alrighty, so Upland, is it just a game? Is it more than a game? What's your 2 cents?
No, I mean, it's to me, it's an investment that I can play. And it's just a fun investment. I've had investments where you don't have any control over it. You just put your money in, and the only control you have is when you take it out. But like this thing, you can market your properties. You can, there's a lot you can do to affect your investment. And it's been easy so far because everything's been going up, since I got in. But no, it's a fun investment, and it's a project that has the potential to just do some crazy things in the future. So, I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, well, I suppose you said you got into the game looking for something that could earn you crypto. So yeah, that makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Very good. In the time you've been involved, what's some lessons that you've learned that other newer players might benefit from?
Well, if anybody's watching this that has not signed up yet, my biggest regret was, like if I knew how much money I was going to put into this game, and you can start out for free. We have players in our group that are like hugely successful. Start out with no money, but the way I played, and the way I would do it again, if I could, I would find somebody with a referral link. I would dump all that money in at one time, and I get the biggest bonus I could get, So that's like my one regret, And then maybe like right now, I haven't been going after collection properties as aggressively as I should. I think I got scarred by that Brooklyn burn. And it's kind of like, I'm like, but yeah, those are probably my biggest, the biggest, not really regrets, but if I could do it differently,
Yeah, it's tough coming from. Oh, well, I should ask that first. When you bought in, did you buy in through the crypto in system, or were you?
No, I just threw. I went through my credit cards. I think I started out with like $10.
Yeah, because a lot of people say to me, because I've been playing for I think 15 months or something now. Oh, you're so lucky you got in so early, but there's definitely a yes and no aspect to that because you got new players like DJ Shorts and Invenom, and they've come in based heavily on crypto, as far as I'm aware. But if you look on paper, I've actually put more in on crypto. It's just that my timing was so terrible, If I had waited until 2-3 months ago, then I would have been way further ahead than what I am now.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah.
Yeah, but of course you can't really put a value on all the foundations and all the dumb things I've done and lessons learned along the way as well.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So what do you think your biggest success has been to date in the game?
So I'm not sure how it'll play out, but I think so far, recently I was able to lock up a large amount of properties in Diamond and Upper Diamond. So I think that's going to end up being one of my biggest successes. I was able to get, I know I've talked about my huge family. I have a huge family. I have 5 brothers and 4 sisters, and then, we branch off from there. So I was able to get a bunch of them on. Some of them didn't really want to do it. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to give you $50. You don't have to spend any money, but you have to, So I think coordinating that effort with them and locking up those properties hopefully will end up being one of my bigger successes,
Yeah, so you've definitely got a long-term mindset in that regards.
Yeah. I do need to work on, like I said, the collections. I'm going to try in Staten Island and Bakersfield to go after a few collections so I can flip and get some, short-term gains. But yeah, I think long-term that's going to be a solid play. So
nice. So if that was your success, what failures have you had along the way, if any?
Man,
aside from the referral code.
Yeah, a lot of failures. When you first start. See, I'm not one to like read the instruction manual. I just like
me neither.
I just go at it. So like with this game, when I came in, I just started throwing money at it. I'm just like, not that I had like a lot of money to throw at it. Like I'm not, not wealthy or anything, but it was one of those things where I'm just like, I need to get more properties. Here's, and I was buying, just buying a lot of properties on the secondary market when I should have been searching for. I didn't have, honestly, I didn't have the tool. I wasn't looking at UPX World, so I wasn't researching the cheapest properties, and so yeah, those were probably just early on my bigger failures.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've said, that's it, I'm not putting any more in. Like I'm sure I've said it to T Davis. I've said it to him in DMs probably 5-6 times.
Yep.
And something else will come up. Yeah, I think I'm in a position now where as long as I'm patient, I don't have to.
Yeah.
But in saying that though, I was getting in the shower probably a month or so ago. I was just about to get in the shower, and I had that there was three of those big Dumbo properties left.
Oh
And I
yeah.
just thought, well, doing some math in my head, if I get that one, then that's going to equal this, and then okay.
Dang, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's, yeah, it has to be the end. But some people have asked me in DM because they knew that I come in from the crypto side of things. But it's important to know that everything that I have in Upland it's all house money. It's all based on success I had in 2017, 2018, that sort of stuff. It's
Nice.
much like yourself, I'm not wealthy by any stretch of the imagination whatsoever. Contrary to popular belief, people that assume that because you have X, Y, or Z that you're some huge fat whale or something like that. Yeah, it's I wish that was the case.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Someday it will be.
Yeah, it's definitely not. So what keeps you playing now?
Well, I'm invested, so, but no, it's fun. It's fun. I'm like on this thing all day throughout the day. The community is awesome. Yeah. That's actually like one of the things that I wasn't expecting, because I've seen communities in other games, and there's nothing there. But the community in this game is pretty sweet, man. People are actually reaching out and trying to help each other, and that's not very common. So that's cool. But I'm also excited to see what we can do in the next few years with this thing. Cause with the player-based business ideas, the evolution of this game could be insane, so yeah, I'm in this thing for a long time.
Nice. Yeah. And I remember that when we first started talking, you had a bit of a business idea at the start there. It was some lottery thing or something?
Well, I like doing, I've done like, I had this idea a while back about, trading competitions. And then I came across a website that was already doing it. I'm like, okay, well, there you go, but I was always thinking like those things should be crypto based. You know what I mean? Like they should, it'd be so, I would think it would make sense to make those kind of competitions crypto based, where everybody kind of pools the money, and whoever wins, or it could be a progressive, payout or whatever, but people like speculating, and they like competing. So,
and it kind of takes the drama out of it. Like we know with the train terminal, whatever they did, the wheel of thingies or whatever, people are still blowing up out that it's not transparent enough or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It seems pretty transparent to me, but
yeah, I like that angle too. There was actually there was an ICO project I got involved in, might have been early 2018 or something, Fire Lotto, and it was a lotto on the blockchain basically.
Oh.
So we just had some technical difficulties then, and we're back at it. I just asked you, I believe, was it where you were based?
Yeah. So most of my properties are in San Francisco, but I'm all over the map. I don't know. We'll see how fast they start pumping cities out here soon. But I'm gonna try and be in as many places as I can.
So yep. So what are some of the future features you're most looking forward to?
Right now, I want to see the buildings come out, because I'm eager to start putting some on my properties and see what that does with our property values, and just seeing how the map just kind of changes and grows, So, and then I'm curious to see the businesses, because I mean, I've heard of some of the businesses that are coming out, but I mean, anybody can come up with an idea, that that could add value to the game. So, but yeah, right now, just I just want to see the properties come out.
Yeah,
Or the buildings.
we're all itching to go, I think, for both of those, property development and business development. Yep.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get kicked off. So where do you think we'll be in 1 year?
The moon. No, no, honestly, like, I think as soon as we get out of beta and we go international, like, I think a lot of us feel that. I don't know. I think this thing's going to go parabolic, man. It's so I see this thing like really taking off here within this next year. Yeah, I don't know how high, but I'm expecting some huge growth. So
yeah, I think so too. Like, we've seen some of the new players come in and they see where it's headed. I can only imagine what's going to happen once we get some wider international exposure and that sort of thing. Yeah, I keep telling people, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh yeah. Yep. Well, you look at other projects out there and you just look at the flow of money that goes into them, and we haven't seen that yet. Like, we've seen like money come into the game and the growth, it's growing, but we haven't seen that wave of investment yet, and it's coming. I mean, when it hits, it's going to be crazy. So
yeah, I think one of the first landmark auctions that I really paid attention to, I think it sold for like 8 million UPEX or something, so $8,000, and everyone was losing their mind. Like, how could you pay that much money for some blue pixels?
Yeah,
but as we saw, that wasn't even close to what was coming.
I mean, I'm gonna make a prediction here, and I could be completely wrong. This is not intended to be investment advice for anybody, but I honestly, I think that some of these landmark properties, when they put the buildings up and this thing grows and those wave of money comes in, I mean, I could see those in the future going for like $1 million, like real dollars, a piece. So, I don't know. I could be wrong, but
yeah, it'll be interesting to see too. Like the tower that Venom bought, what was that, the Chrysler building or something, wasn't it? Yeah. A lot of those buildings, when you press on the street view, you can see different street views for the different levels. I'm assuming that in a building of that size, the way that the mechanics work, where you can visit a property and then you enter the property. Have you seen that at all, or was that might have been before you with the Christmas events and Halloween?
Yeah, I missed that.
Yeah. So you essentially you visit the property, and then, like what we have at the terminals, there's usually a little arrow or something. Like, you click that and you essentially go into the building, and it could be a wall of NFTs, or for our other events, we would play a video or something like that. I would imagine that something the size of the Chrysler building, there'd be something like that for every level. So I told Venom straight away, iBag's level 68, that's mine.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it will be very interesting to see how that plays out. And if that is the case, I mean, yeah, you imagine the value in something like that, with especially what Venom's doing with NFTs and that sort of thing. It would just be massive.
Yeah.
So if that's a year, what about 5 years? If we were in the moon in 1 year, where are we in 5 years?
Man, that's the crazy thing is, like, I have no clue, but the way that they're doing this with the player-based business ideas, like, that's the thing, is like, I don't think any of us are going to really know where this is going to be in 5 years. Like I think we're going to be in a place that none of us like really expected. And I'm excited to see that, because I think it's going to be pretty sweet. So
yeah, well, we've seen that with like the Metaforce guys and Recuria, what they've got going on, where people, they're not waiting for the official Upland business ideas to come on board. They're already creating these things. And I spoke to one of our members, Morcheese, yesterday, and she's got a business idea, and we were brainstorming different ways, and yeah, I was trying to get the point across that you don't have to wait until you get an official business license. Your idea, it's a super solid idea, get the ball rolling, get going, you're only limited by what you want to do. And we see that in the community, heaps of people coming up with different ideas here and there. Yeah, I think it's definitely the case at the moment, where I think the community is far beyond where the actual team is, and
Yeah.
they're trying to catch up.
Yeah, and we're just like, come on, guys, let's just hire whoever you got to hire. Let's go. We're ready. So yeah,
But then we keep selling out cities, and then the focus has to switch back to that. So
that's true. Yeah.
it's a tricky one. So UDU stuff, and getting back to what I mentioned at the start, you came to us from a very interesting perspective. I had a look through our DMs, and I actually reached out to you after, I believe, I'd done the big public push and the MTU had sold out, and I was going through one by one and checking who had properties, and I was doing it all by hand, and I saw that you had, I think it might have been 2 properties, and I reached out to you and said, can we cut a deal? And I actually bought you out.
Yeah.
And that was, for me, that was on the 27th of March, I believe. And then it was 6, 7, maybe 10 days later,
Something
you
like
come
that.
knocking back on the door.
Yeah. So I saw the public push, and I'm like, oh, I went in on that. You know what I mean? And, you were talking about, this is going to be your business hub. And I'm like, oh man, I'll set up shop right across from his business, man. I won't have to go far to get whatever's going on. And I still don't know how all that's going to play out, but I figured I wanted to be as close as possible. And so, yeah, no, I bought a couple properties, and then people started, people were putting like crazy prices up. So I'm like, okay, 100,000 UPX, why not? I think I might've done like 99,000 or something. And then you messaged me and said, hey, what do you really want to get out of it? And I'm like, well, I haven't been here long, so I don't need to, but then, after the flip, and I just monitoring Discord and just listening to all that chatter, I'm just like, man, something big's going on here, and, yeah, I don't want to miss out on that. So then I message you. I'm like, okay, how do I buy my properties back?
Yes, but unfortunately they'd moved on, I believe. But we worked out a deal and we got you back in. So you are UDU member number 38, but realistically, I think you would have been like number 10, or it would have been in the low teens, I think.
Man, I missed that. The NFT number there.
But yeah, because things were snowballing so quickly, you'd only been out of the loop for a bit over a week, I think. But
yeah.
It had just progressed so far. So yeah, that was cool. How active are you in the UDU?
I'm in the. Here's the thing. Like, I'm in there as much as possible. I'm in there a lot, like in the Discord. I'm trying to really find what I can contribute. Because there's a lot of people with all these technical, backgrounds and skills that I don't have. I think that's why, like, I when we were trying to secure diamond and upper diamond, I'm like, okay, maybe here's where I can support the team. I kind of avoided the collection properties, and I'm like, all right, let me try and help lock up these nodes. And so yeah, and I'm open to exploring whatever I can do to help out. But yeah, no, I'm in there every day in the Discord.
Yeah, I remember reading that where you felt like you hadn't really found your position or your role yet. But yeah, I mean, I know you're one of the people that if there's anything that comes up, I know you'll be all over it and that sort of thing. And
Yeah.
the FSA thing and securing those nodes is a prime example. Like, pretty easy to say that you went above and beyond there. So thank you very much for that. And that's still going to play out over months and months and months and months. So yeah, that's awesome. What's something that you think we do well at UDU?
Basically supporting players in the game, and helping out new players. I think looking at some of the tools that are going to be coming out, it's obvious that the goal of UDU is to grow the community and develop the players in the community, and not just in our group, but in general, in the whole game. So basically just player support, helping out, I guess, where the game itself is lacking in, tools and information. So
that's one thing I haven't talked to anybody in these interviews yet, is that whole side of things, like with what Venom's working on with Up Squared Land and that sort of thing. How do you think that's going to impact not just the community but yourself as a player?
Oh, it's huge.
If that can all come to fruition.
That it's huge. You know, when that was first announced and they're like, oh, you can win this property, I'm like, oh, I'm in for that. Like I'm in for every chance to win something for free, you know. So, you know, I put a couple comments like, here's what I would like to see, you know, in, you know, as far as managing my properties. And then, you know, getting a look at during that one meeting at what he'd come up with so far and like the tools that we're going to have. I mean, that's huge. It's a game changer, really. You know, it's gonna affect the game. Like, yeah, I can't wait for that. So.
Did you get caught up in that message glitch the other day, like where your phone just kept saying you've sold a property, you sold a property, you sold a property? Like,
I got I saw
500 messages.
Yeah, I saw some of you guys posting that. I was like, what happened? No, I didn't get in on that one.
Yeah, so that's one of the features that I can't wait for is to press the one read all button.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, I've had a few messages pile up, but you know, I'm not sitting on as many properties as some of you guys, so I can imagine, you know. And then the offers, you know, that I'll tell you what, that's the one thing that I really want them to do is give us the option to just not receive any offers, you know.
Yeah.
And that would be,
it'd be good to even have some kind of color coding or something on the map, whether it turned a different shade or something like that, so it was just visually obvious. Don't even bother, mate. You know?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good idea.
Yeah. So what do you think we could improve on, whether that's the UDU as a whole or yourself or your role in it, or what's something else that we can work on?
Well, we're still new, so like, you know, and so we're still, you know, establishing like who we are and what we're doing, you know. So there's no, like, honestly, like I can't really say there's anything to improve on right now, but you know, once we do establish that, just communicating to the rest of the server, like, you know, here's our mission, here's our goal. We're, you know, it's not a competition, you know, we're here to help. And, you know, so that's all I could really think of, you know. I mean, because I'm behind the scenes and I see what we're working on, like I know the value we're bringing to the game, you know. So yeah, just once we get established, just communicating that.
Yeah, I've been trying to get this damn handbook finished off. I think that'll help a lot.
Yeah.
For new people to come on board and say, well, because we get asked a lot, what is the UDU? I answer that 5 or 6 times a day, you know. But it's just so much stuff that's happening. I sat down the other morning to get something done, and then all the DMs are blowing up because there's 4 new cities coming on board, and I was like, oh shit, I better research that, or, you know, or hang on, I can't stay up and work on it because now I've got to go to bed at 9 o'clock because I want to get up at 1 a.m. and do this release, you know. So
yeah, you're busy, man. I tell you, you know, you're putting, I see it. You're putting a lot into it, and you know, and I know when you have work and family, like that's not easy. So hopefully someday I know that we appreciate you. Hopefully someday the whole general community can see what you put into this, and you know.
Well, I think we just keep doing what we're doing. We don't sweat the small stuff too much. I think because within our core group, we can all see the bigger picture. And like you were saying before, with it's definitely a different community. There is always flare-ups. There has been ever since the old Telegram, the Telegram days before Discord. But the community, there's enough aspects of the community that are strong and solid and, you know, well-established relationships that we can pretty much bounce through all those periods. I mean, there's been plenty of times where I've gone off the deep end or, you know, blown up and that sort of thing. But, you know, there's always people to talk to, always people to reach out and help and that sort of thing. So,
yeah, no, I know, like for me, like early on, I've had plenty of blowups, you know, like I hated treasure hunts. I couldn't stand those, you know. And then the competitions, like when I was starting out, I'm like, man, why am I seeing all the same people winning, you know, and the same complaints now I'm seeing some of the newer players, you know, and I'm like, but now I'm like, okay, you know, and you know, I don't, it's not rigged like I thought it was when, you know, when I started out. But I see the comments. I'm like, I can understand where you're coming from, but you know, but no, I like our group. There's enough level-headed people to kind of like help keep me calm.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And those sorts of things, they were happening more than 12 months ago. I know when I first started, I remember looking around the map and I'd click on an explorer and they had 2 million net worth. And I'm like, how is that possible? Like, did I miss some kind of competition giveaway where they were giving away 1 million UPEX or something? Like, I remember saying something along those lines in the Telegram chat. And you want to talk about treasure hunts, mate. When treasure hunts first came out, there was no cooldown. And I don't know, because he's not very active at the moment. There's a player called Hodler, and he was just winning every single treasure hunt that you could imagine. Yeah, it was just one after the other, after the other, after the other. Yeah, wow. So it's pretty much the same thing, you know.
Yeah, I mean, some people just have it down, you know, and you know, but yeah, you know, and the thing is too that I think people don't realize, because I've heard comments like, it's the same price. I see that person all over the place. Well, it's because they're active in Discord. That's why you see their name all over the place. You know, that's really what it comes down to. You know, they're just active. You know.
Yeah, it's definitely a case of you get out what you put in.
Yeah.
In this regards. So, all right, man. Is there anything else you wanted to say? Did you have any specific properties that you'd like to advertise? You got anything on special?
Yeah, I'm not really. I don't have anything really discounted. I mean, if someone wants to pay for one of my overpriced properties out there, I'm happy to help you out. You know, I'm trying not to sell too much in San Francisco or Manhattan at the moment. Yeah, nothing really. I need to push at this point. So,
yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat. I can't delist things fast enough, or if I do have something for sale, it's like at just ridiculous fishing prices.
Yeah.
See what happens.
You know, and I sold one in Brooklyn. I think I bought it for like 3,500. I listed at like 75,000 UPX, and someone bought it. I was like, whoa, okay. Thanks, man.
It makes you reevaluate everything when that happens, doesn't it?
Well, I started pulling properties. I'm like, what's going on in Brooklyn?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Like, we know how the UDU works as well. You just never know. Is there another co-op in the mix? Because I know I get contacted by other smaller co-ops asking questions about how to set things up or looking to get involved with us. And there's been plenty of times where I've had a look at the floor for the neighborhood that they're interested in, and they're starting to buy up, and I'm sending panic DMs, quick delist your properties to UDU members, because otherwise your property's going to get bought out, you know?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. You list these things at, you know, as you said, you might buy it for 3,000, you list it at 20,000 thinking, oh, well, that's not going to sell.
Yeah.
And next minute the floor's 100,000.
Yeah. You're like, damn it.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, if people want to have a chat to you, where can they find you?
I'm on Discord most of the time. Same username, Erohwaru. So yeah, just hit me up, and yeah, happy to chat.
Alrighty, thanks for being a part of this, and looking forward to working with you in the future, mate.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.